Hello everyone, I hope you had a happy Monday, although happy and Monday should be illegal being in the same sentence. However, for the first time in Splatoon 3 in the Splatlands, it's LUTI time! We have Division number 9 Inked Pheonix against Tyrant Kensa. My name is Kyo, I am going to be one of the commentators for today's match, and with me is Chili. Hello!
Welcome everybody, thank you for that introduction, Kyo. I'm Chili, really looking forward to seeing how Division 9 kicks off here between Inked Pheonix and Tyrant Kensa. This will be a best of 9, Inked Pheonix placed 255th out of 314 in the speed ladder, and Tyrant Kensa placed 203rd. So we should see Tyrant Kensa have a slight advantage going into this, but it's Splat free, it's early days, absolutely anything can happen.
And although the Inked Pheonix currently on the prediction on the higher end, 80% to 20%, so there has been quite a contradiction there, going here and there. However, what counts the utmost is what is going to happen on the maps, which is going to be first Rainmaker on Mincemeat Metalworks. Already a banger, already a banger on the very first map, on the very first Splatoon 3 LUTI, on the very first week. I'm excited for this. I'm just curious on how this will going to be.
I mean, it is a savage map to start on, isn't it? I mean, Mincemeat, we all know kind of the community's stance on that as a map in general, how unforgiving it can be. I mean, Rainmaker, I think, can be one of the more exciting and dynamic variants, but yeah, interesting map to kind of get started on. One hell of a way to kick off the first round, and it'll be really interesting to see how both teams start as they mean to go on.
Although we can be kind of happy that it is not Clam Blitz on Mincemeat, because the probability of the match being over 8 minutes can be very high on Clam Blitz. However, it's Rainmaker, and we jump in on the first match of the Splatoon 3 LUTI here and right now here on Dapple Productions, and we have Inked Pheonix being the yellow team against Tyrant Kensa being blue. And we already have a very, very contested mid, as expected. However, the first picks going for the both teams already had fallen, and the bamboo now on the left side. However, the Twizuka gets cocked with the auto bomb from the bamboo.
The power
Very
of the chicken.
unlucky.
The power of the chicken always manages to get those cheeky splats. A really interesting comp actually on Inked Pheonix's part. We got a bamboo, we got a tri-stringer, slightly more meta comp looking from Tyrant Kensa, but a really dynamic match here. Although Inked Pheonix managing to take advantage of those picks and break the checkpoint 1 minute in. That's a good, impressive start from them.
Oh, that was very close here from the splatter shot, almost getting cocked from the explosion of the Rainmaker barrier. However, the Rainmaker has been picked now by the splatter shot. Very interesting move indeed.
Yeah, typically don't see the splatter shot as the carrier, do we? But good decision there. Like nice movement as well with the squid rolls, trying to kind of dodge the fire and get that back into mid. They have been stopped from the center point, and that explosion is going to wipe the crab tank. It's going to make it quite hard for Tyrant Kensa to progress at the moment.
Rainmaker has been picked again by Inked Pheonix, currently in the lead with 59 points, still in the mid though, however gets a great pick on one of the splatter shots. Now the Splasher-matic with a great pick on the Rainmaker, however gets cocked very easily by the torpedo. And IP Cool trying to go forward, however couldn't make many points. They couldn't even make any points with that push, unfortunately. However, now the Zipcaster with the Slusher Deco, which is kind of very exotic kit for a Slusher. However, couldn't get any picks with the Zipcaster. However, the situation has been cleared by Tyrant Kensa, and now they can start the very first good push here.
Yeah, there was 3 down roughly at the same time on Inked Pheonix's side, so this would be Tyrant Kensa's best chance to progress. It does look like a couple of the shooters have moved up the Slosher here with a very aggressive play. Really interesting to see how this kit is going to kind of adapt to the meta over time, but really nice aggressive movement here, trying to cause a big distraction. It looks like they weren't able quite to get the checkpoint, and 2 of them have gone down, so this means they will probably have to retreat for now.
Inked Pheonix, despite being so many down on players, have defended it beautifully. Only going on 64 points and not even the first checkpoint down, so they still have a lot of time should it go to the final 2 minutes, which is starting now. We can see that Tyrant Kensa having quite a lot of problems going forward, because that should have been a push. That should have at least get the first checkpoint. However, now they can attempt it, and they got the first checkpoint. Now we got a complete Rainmaker match, like it is in Splatoon 1 and Splatoon 2. However,
Absolutely.
it may have been a tad bit too late for Tyrant Kensa because Inked Pheonix still with good map control. However, it's still Rainmaker, and now with both checkpoints down, it can be very devastating if your team happens to be wiped out.
Yeah, we've got 1:12 on the clock, so we really are coming down to the wire here. 59 is not really a safe touch by any stretch of the imagination, so it'll be interesting to see what kind of happens under pressure here. 2 of Tyrant Kensa have gone down, so it is possible that Inked Pheonix could extend their lead. But it looks like Tyrant Kensa are looking to just try and cheese and push into the enemy side. They have been stopped. It does look like they're moving up and trying to aggress, but another teammate has gone down there, so it looks like Inked Pheonix are going to be able to defend this and stop Tyrant Kensa taking the lead. 45 seconds to go, so we'll see if there's any final kind of cheeky plays that can happen here.
Looking at the comp on Inked Pheonix, they have a bow, which is by the way now down, and the bamboo down as well. They have a very defensive comp. However, now the Rainmaker going onto the head of Tyrant Kensa. As I was talking about it, as I was talking about being wiped out, it actually happened. Commentator curse and a wipe out again. Tyrant Kensa with the double wipe out, and
Wow.
Rainmaker being Rainmaker. Absolutely devastating for Inked Pheonix. Tyrant Kensa gets the first point of this best of 9 set. That was huge. That was very huge.
One way to make a statement, you know, it was such a kind of close game. There was a bit of a stalemate going on by that first checkpoint, but it was such a good aggressive play at the end. Wipeouts are devastating on any map mode combination, really, but on Rainmaker, a wipeout is so painful, and they did beautifully to push up there, keep up the aggression, get that second wipe, and go from what has been, you know, quite a back and forth for 4 minutes to a really solid knockout at the end there. That is going to probably put Tyrant Kensa in a good mood starting things off here.
And now we have a Splatoon 2 Hood Classic. I love to play Splat zones on this map, which is not Clam Blitz. I'm sorry, Splat zones on MakoMart. Yeah, a map that has been existing since Splatoon 2, been played many times in many tournaments, and in my opinion, it's deserved as well, because MakoMart is such a good map. There are many possibilities for frontliners, also for backliners, and seeing the map back on Splatoon 3 really is a great thing.
Yeah, I'm really happy to see Mako back as well. I think it is a really solid map in general. I think there are a lot of weapons that are viable. Like you say, you can go full on, aggressive comp with four kind of front to midline kind of weapons. You can go for more balanced comps with a charger, a sloshing machine, and 2 front lines. There's lots of kind of plays and strategies you can do around the boxes. So this tends to be a dynamic, messy map mode. I'm really glad to see it return. I do think it's one of the more kind of balanced setups where lots of map mode, lots of weapon comps can work. So it'll be really interesting to see if either team switch up their strategy here compared to what we were seeing in Mincemeat.
I think they will, because Splat Zones is more of a static map, static mode than Rainmaker. The objective is static. It is more like on a turf war, however, more objective based. And now we are jumping. Oh wow!
A good tuber, you do not see that every day. That is a really interesting pick coming out. The comp in general is very unconventional, isn't it?
Double charger.
Yeah, I wonder if the GooTuber is going to be played more in a support capacity. I mean, this is the patch where missiles have been substantially nerfed, so it'll be interesting to see how the weapon is used. We've got a really chaotic opening here with trades left, right, and centre, but 3 going down for Tyrant Kensa, and Inked Pheonix being able to cap the zone there after a difficult opening.
Yeah, the Tent Attack capping the zone very quickly with the Soda Slosher, not the Soda Slosher, good old times, I guess, with the Slosher deck being last for Tyrant Kensa, the T-Tech acting fast and capping the zone very quickly. Now with the strike here. The Booyah Bomb follows after. Inked Pheonix now with the zone and with the hero shot being last and under the pressure from the pro and the good tuber as well. Inked Pheonix with a lot of map control right there, forcing Tyrant Kensa to go over the far left side. All three of them to be exact. They all got missiled as well. However, the hero shot now in the zone and Tyrant Kensa trying their very best to cap the zone and to at least buy them some time. However, they go down one by one with the Splasher-matic still on the base side of Tyrant Kensa, and time is ticking fast. The Inked Pheonix looking forward to KO this match very quickly. The tri-strike of the T-Tech to secure this win, and the Booyah Bomb as well. That is way too much to handle for Tyrant Kensa, and Inked Pheonix with the quick equalizer on a very fast-paced map like MakoMart. It is 1-1.
Blimey, I mean, that is one way to make a statement, isn't it? After losing that first game that was balanced for the most part by Tyrant Kensa, Inked Pheonix have clearly not let that phase them. They've come in with a really unconventional comp, but they've managed to make it work so well. And I think you could see Tyrant Kensa starting to panic. They were managing to get trades, but when you're on the defensive like that, you really don't want to be getting trades. You want to be doing everything you can to be coordinated as a team and going for that penalty. But Inked Pheonix just managing to get those picks and constantly maintain that zone. I don't think they actually got a penalty at any point, did they, once they got that original cap?
Yeah, I think the thing is, there was way too many painting specials on the side of Inked Pheonix. With the tri-strike of the T-Tech and the Booyah Bomb, you can force the zone cap very quickly, and you can defend the opposing zone cap very quickly. And that was way too much for Tyrant Kensa. Although I cannot believe that I actually have won with the double charger comp with like a splatter scope. Which is absolutely fine for MakoMart, and the Goo Tuber. Although I can understand why you would opt in for the Goo Tuber, because it got the Tenta missiles. You can. I was about to say you can still spam it, but the new patch has finally fixed it. You cannot spam Tenta missiles anymore. The Splatoon 2 meta is over and out. Luckily. Thank God.
Yeah, I was really, when they first brought the Tenta missiles back, I really wasn't sure how they were going to make them acceptable to the community, really, because you could see that people really didn't like how that special functioned compared to others. I think what they opted for this patch has really done a number on them, just being something that you can continuously spam throughout the game, but they still have that amazing ability to displace people, force people off positions and into a disadvantaged state, and it looked like Inked Pheonix in that second game were really able to take advantage of that. I mean, the map control was suffocating by the end of that. You can see why that was such a difficult time. But we're now moving into Clam Blitz on Scorch Gorge, one of the newer maps. What are your thoughts on this one?
It's one of the newer maps, and of course Clam Blitz has gotten a lot quicker now that you only need 8 mini clams to form a super clam, and here we are starting at it, and I think we now see a much more conventional comms on both sides. However, to be fair, both are running the range blaster on Scorch Gorge, which may be a good thing because you can contest the top mid there. However, Inked Pheonix, with a lot of people down right now, have to watch out that they won't get overrun that quickly, as Tyrant Kensa scoring the first clams in the game.
That was a really good opening by Tyrant Kensa. And yeah, it is interesting to see the range on each side, but I think the Wavebreaker is just such a nice special to have. Just good for scouting people hiding around and playing around the pillar. Much more aggression from Tyrant Kensa this game, and it is working really, really well. That was a great attempt to squid roll to tank the Splat bomb, but unfortunately wasn't able to work. And we see Tyrant Kensa here having to retreat a little bit, but they're keeping their players up. They're getting picks, and it looks like this is a game where Tyrant Kensa are really coming out on the offensive. This comp change seems to have done them a lot of good.
Oh, they rolled into the suction bomb. So unfortunate. However, Tyrant Kensa are really looking to have a huge advantage on that map. They must have studied this very well. Since they don't let Inked Pheonix many opportunities to go into their own zone, and the Explosion doing such a great job to zone and keep Inked Pheonix away from their own base. And now the Explo going onto the left side, contesting it as well. The Explo doing such a great work, however now gets splatted by the dually Squelches, watching now to get a good glimpse at the base of Tyrant Kensa.
Yeah, the dually Squelch is doing a lot of good work here for Inked Pheonix, trying to create an opening, but the Zuka to the face is going to shut them down very, very quickly. I did like what the Explosion was doing before. It's good to see an Explosion move up and not just kind of stay passive, but they were exploiting their range really well up to that point. We do see Inked Pheonix with a Clam ready to go here. There is one down either side. They're using the bubbler to keep themselves safe. I think that's a good move. They do not want to overextend yet until their ally is back up. It might be Inked Pheonix's first opportunity here to get a score on the board, but Azuka again says no. Oh, that was just the Explosion again. Fantastic spacing as always.
The Tyrant Kensa is really spacing. They also have like the great spacing weapons, Range Blaster and the Explosion. They can do so much defensive work here, as you can see, because Inked Pheonix, they are really struggling to get forward, because the Tyrant Kensa are basically just painting their feet with the Explosion, and the Range Blaster also doing great work on keeping them off the base. And now they got the mid control, and they don't even have to score so much because they just have to defend it. However, being Clam Blitz and only being on 74 points, Inked Pheonix basically just need their Pity Clam and a normal Super Clam to get the lead. So Tyrant Kensa definitely has to score some more points to have a better lead, because as of right now, it can be contested very easily by Inked Pheonix.
Definitely, I agree with you, Keo. 74 is, good. It's a lead, but it's not a safe lead by any means. I do like how Tyrant Kensa have played this, because I don't think they've stayed too passive. They were getting good control of mid, but we saw a lot of coordinated specials coming out for Inked Pheonix. We saw the Wavebreaker and the Big Bubbler. This Explosion, though, has done an incredible job of defending, and that is a wipeout on Inked Pheonix's side. So this is going to be Tyrant Kensa's opportunity with a minute on the clock to really set up and hold this mid ground and make sure that Inked Pheonix do not get any other opportunities to push this game.
The Inked was not enough here for Inked Pheonix to finally break through the defensive act of Tyrant Kensa. However, now the Explode being down. 3v4 situation for Inked Pheonix. However, they have to let the Splattershot Jr. go, which definitely weakens their attack. However, the Charger looking forward to get the Inked again and to start another pushing plot. However, Tyrant Kensa is very defensively in their own base, and even in mid there goes the Trizuka. But however, Tyrant Kensa with 2 down. However, now the Charger's down as well with the Inked in hand. That is huge. However, Inked Pheonix will have 20 seconds of overtime, and that will be very difficult. However, the Range Blast is still alive, but they could not score that because
so close.
Oh, that was so close. However, now the Splatterscope trying it again. The Splattershot Jr. going down as well. Oh my god, what is going on here? No!
That was, you've got to credit it to Inked Pheonix. They did not give up. They kept having some really good opportunities to score there. I think what was really impressive about Tyrant Kensa is whilst they were playing defensively, they weren't playing passively. They were still managing to get the picks on Inked Pheonix. They were managing to outspace them when they were aggressing. And Inked Pheonix had some really good ideas with the coordinated specials, but they were just not able to pick off the back lines on Tyrant Kensa's side, and just managing to defend that well enough to take that lead. It's an interesting map, Scorch Gorge, because it's not the easiest to get to the Clam basket, but yeah, lots of good attempts from Inked Pheonix to try and bring that back. I think they can still be proud of how they played that game, even though Tyrant Kensa took the win.
The castle has been defended successfully, my lord. That was very, very fantastic work here from Tyrant Kensa, defending this weak lead so that Inked Pheonix couldn't even score a single Super Clam into their basket. That is a huge effort made by the Tyrant Kensa. The weapon comp was very defensive too, though, with the Explo and with the Range Blaster. They took so much paint away, and the Range Blaster with if I got that right, it got Big Bubbler, if I recall that correctly.
The Range Blaster has Wave Breaker, but the juniors had Bubbler,
okay.
And that was a good part of Inked Pheonix's attempt to push for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Now we got...
I was just going to say, I think the aspect of that match as well is between the Range Blaster and the Explosher, there's lots of means to get AoE like chip damage, so even if they weren't getting direct hits on the Inklings, it makes it very, very hard to advance forward when you're getting chipped for quite significant amounts of damage over and over, and I think we saw that really good coordination between the Range Blaster and the Explosher, which was a big part of their defense.
Exactly. Now we got tower control on Eeltail Alley. Just a little trivia. I was commentating the finals of the German league yesterday, and the roller was very, very devastating on this map. They killed absolutely everything. However, looking at their comms, I don't think we're gonna see a wallet today. However, tower control on Eeltail Alley going in right now, and we got a Slushine machine. Haven't seen them for a while, to be fairly honest.
Yeah, I haven't seen a sloshing machine for a little while either, but I think could say these are, fairly meta comps, fairly standard builds at the moment. We're seeing the Tenta Tech. It'll be interesting to see how that performs, although it does look like it has quite a good kit. I haven't seen it in action much yet. And tower control on Eeltail is always so messy because you can get off the tower at specific points and really heavily advance into enemy base. A really aggressive play coming in from the Splashomatic to try and give Tyrant Kensa the initial opening, and we're seeing trades back and forth, but Tyrant Kensa beginning to advance into Inked Pheonix's side.
And they got the first checkpoint. However, being the first checkpoint so close to the middle, it may be not that important. However, the more important checkpoints will be 2 and 3, because that's where the real battle begins. Cool being on the slushy machine, however, gets sucked up by the Inkback. However, the Inkback is now down. The big bubbler is vacant. However, now on the tower is the Splashomatic going down, as Inked Pheonix trying to defend the tower from their own base, and that has been successfully made. Now Inked Pheonix onto the push here. However, it's a 2v. Ooh, and the T-Tech wins it. However, it gets the first checkpoint passed. However, it's not enough for the Inked Pheonix to get a good first push going.
I think the aggressive play from Tyrant Kensa is really working out well for them here and putting Inked Pheonix in a bad position. I was getting a bit worried for Inked Pheonix because even with 2 of Tyrant Kensa down, Tyrant Kensa was still managing to advance the tower. And even though Inked Pheonix had an opportunity to push there, Tyrant Kensa wiped them so quickly. Some really nice balanced play from the frontliners here, choosing when to shark and when to push. Again, the Splash getting a double here, really putting the pressure on, looking to advance and try and create an opening so that Tyrant Kensa can keep this offensive up. It must be really hard in Inked Pheonix's position right now.
The Splashomatic doing a great aggression work right now, gaining picks after picks. However, the Slushing finishing off the Crab Tank and gets finished off as well by one of the teammates of Tyrant Kensa as they are pushing now towards the third checkpoint, even reaching it and even working on it as well. However, now the checkpoint has been defended, and it's still a very great push here from Tyrant Kensa, going down to 23 points. The checkpoint 3 half passed, and now
That's a
Inked
very good
Pheonix
milestone.
now Inked Pheonix initializing the first push that might be very good, considering that the second checkpoint is now in sight.
It was a good attempt. There was good coordination coming in from Inked Pheonix. There were some specials. Tyrant Kensa just managing to get picks after picks on Inked Pheonix. So it just seems to be that on the offensive level, Tyrant Kensa seem to have the advantage on this map mode. Maybe they practiced this one more than some others. I mean, 23, it's not necessarily over. Inked Pheonix definitely have a chance to pull this back. But Tyrant Kensa have got a really good lead here, and they're aggressing so much again. Inked Pheonix with 3 down, so again they're on the back foot here. Tyrant Kensa refused to give Inked Pheonix an opportunity to progress.
Tower now on 0. Tyrant Kensa pushing forward, but actually not pushing forward with the tower, of course. They're now pushing a bit forward. However, now they took the tower, although they were pushing for quite some time now. Inked Pheonix being pushed back very heavily, even being in their own base, and not like in the third checkpoint or something like that. Now the third checkpoint has been brought down by Tyrant Kensa, and the charger couldn't do much, and that is the KO for Tyrant Kensa. The charger couldn't do much but to see with the ink bag, because that was so unfortunate. The ink bag, they couldn't just cancel it and just shoot at the tower. That was so painful to watch, actually, because you exactly
It's the worst when that happens.
Because you
yeah.
exactly know you cannot do much, but they can't help it either.
Oh, it's painful. You're locked into that animation for so long, and I actually thought it was a really good choice to ink back there. They were stopping kind of aggression coming from the tower as Tyrant Kensa were pushing, but it just felt like Inked Pheonix were really struggling to coordinate that defense. So much pressure coming in from Tyrant Kensa getting picked, so they weren't able to capitalize on the opening and on the distraction that the ink back was presenting, and that's just allowed them to push through and get that knockout. So it's really interesting. I think we've seen so much more aggression coming from Tyrant Kensa these last 2 games, and it seems to be working out really, really well for them. So if I were Inked Pheonix, I would try and stay calm. This is a best of 9. There's opportunities to bring this back, but they're going to have to look at what Tyrant Kensa are doing here and try and adapt accordingly.
And now we got Rainmaker on Museum d'Alfonsino, a returning map of Splatoon numero uno. And I have heard that you have been, or you are, a Splatoon 1 dinosaur.
This is true. This is true. I am one of the ancient Splatoon 1 dinosaurs and very proud.
So, what can you tell us about this map?
I have very mixed feelings about this map. I mean, this is going to be on Rainmaker, which I think the Rainmaker changes in Splatoon 3 have been very good for Museum. I think the main thing you've got to be really careful of is losing control of your platform and the spinny area, because I think if the enemy team manages to push deep into your spinner and that kind of area, it is so hard to defend. It is so hard to bring that back. So I think you want to take this one a bit slower, you want to get really good control of mid, and you want to have a really strong opening engagement to progress the Rainmaker here, because once you're into that enemy side, it is so hard to recover from, and I'll be really interested to see what approach both of these teams take. But I do think the Rainmaker checkpoint markers do make Rainmaker a better experience on this map than in the original maps. What's your opinion?
I'm a frontliner, actually. I'm a very aggressive frontliner, and I can fully agree with you on all the points. Once you are there on the enemy spurts, you're so difficult to get off, since you can have like a lot of sightseeing. Even if you can even paint the wall and go up there, for example, so you can see where the enemies are going to. So you really need to keep the control of your spools the entire time. And now we're gonna see this in action as we are going into the Rainmaker match, and we gotta see and we gotta love the GoTuber pick again from the Inked Pheonix, and the first pick has been made from Inked Pheonix as we're seeing the first Splatana in the stream with a great pick. Wow!
Wow, very, very different opening here. Inked Pheonix applying a lot of pressure straight away. This is comparable to that comp that did win them game 2 by quite a convincing margin, so maybe they're more confident with these weapons. I do like the pick a tri-stringer in this map. I think you can get some cheesy kills for some really nice angles with a tri-stringer. However, Tyrant Kensa are trying to respond with their own aggression, but they are being stopped. That was a nice hammer kill, but that's free. That's a full wipeout on Inked Pheonix's side, so Tyrant Kensa might be able to respond with a really aggressive push here themselves. This is the situation I was worried about.
You hate to see it, at least when you're the defending team. Currently now, they're just being there. They're just being there rent-free right now. However, the Splatana doing a great work at getting 2 very, very important picks. Now getting the stamp out and getting the slusher as well. Now, it's all about extending the lead, since we now got a very close Rainmaker match. However, the wipeout for Tyrant Kensa in this particular moment of time is not what you want if you're in a team named Inked Pheonix. And Tyrant Kensa, they just couldn't stop. They just couldn't let it go. They just pushing the Rainmaker still down to 9 points. Now they got a little bit of more space. However, the damage has been done, down to 9 points left. And that is a very huge Kohozuna that they need to work on to get this match winning.
That is a Kozuna indeed. I mean, that was such a strong response from Tyrant Kensa to that opening. Tyrant Kensa just being so aggressive. I thought Inked Pheonix had an opportunity at one point to drop the Rainmaker down to mid. I think they hesitated because a couple of Tyrant Kensa were still up. But they didn't, and Tyrant Kensa managed to get a second wipe, and those wipeouts are so devastating. That being said, they're doing a really good job of advancing themselves here. You can see the Splatana on the front lines. 2 are gone down there. It's 2 aside, but if they manage to jump in here and get the pop, Inked Pheonix could do a really good push themselves. It looks like they're trying to back up, but the enemy team, Tyrant Kensa, are defending really well. They've got the Wave Breaker out. That's a fantastic choice by the Eeltail there to set that up. They've made the Spinny a bit more secure, and it looks like they are going to be able to let the Rainmaker reset. So that was a really good response from Tyrant Kensa in difficult circumstances.
The Eeltail being in the position really helped Tyrant Kensa to defend this. However, the push, now that the Rainmaker is in the middle now, it's definitely not done with this with the Slusher Deco being in the Zip Castle, trying to escape from the engages successfully. And now Tyrant Kensa trying to contest the middle control with the Eeltail making a great pick on the Rainmaker. Another good pick from the Slusher. And
very good.
That looks like Tyrant Kensa is going to take the control back from Inked Pheonix, which is going to be important because if Tyrant Kensa wins this game, they're gonna have, if I calculated correctly, 3 match points or 4 to get this head.
Yeah, I think this is a really important one for Inked Pheonix to try and see if they can recover. Only a minute on the clock, so I understand you're going to be getting fidgety, you're going to want to push, but it feels like Tyrant Kensa know the Inked Pheonix are going to want to push, and they're just setting up defensively, a bit like they did in the Scorch Gorge game. Beautiful Zuka coming out there, really, really nice shot. But yeah, it's a very different psychological game when you're on the back foot and when you've got so many match points to defend from. So this is a very important game. If Tyrant Kensa win this, they're going to have a lot of momentum and a lot of chances to close it out. But we have seen how good Inked Pheonix can be as a team. We saw how strong they were on MakoMart. It might be that these have just been some of the more challenging maps for them and that these upcoming maps are playing to their strengths. But we've got 25 seconds on the clock and anything can happen. This is Rainmaker.
And Inked Pheonix trying to prepare the first push. That was actually a great toxic miss there from the bow right there. The Rainmaker has been picked. However, that was a bit unprepared and a bit out of sync for Inked Pheonix, and they have lost the Rainmaker game on full time. Tyrant Kensa now leads 4-1, and they now have 3 own match points plus game 9, of course. So in total, 4 match points.
I mean, they're really living up to the Tyrant in their name, aren't they? They have had such a kind of vicious showing here after what seemed to be a very balanced opening. I mean, again, I think the theme for me and what I'm seeing in these matches is Tyrant Kensa just brings such unrelenting offensive play when they're trying to get that lead. Inked Pheonix are able to get openings, they are able to make offensive plays, but Tyrant Kensa seem to keep their calm. They manage to get control of mid, and then they just make such aggressive pushes, and they were so deep into Inked Pheonix's platform on that initial push. Inked Pheonix did good to stop it being knocked out, to be honest, after that wipe. But yeah, once you have a lead like that in Rainmaker, you can just play a little bit more defensively, a little bit more safe, because you know your opponents have to push, and they knew Inked Pheonix were getting fidgety to try and progress that Rainmaker, and they were just constantly getting splats. Really good showing here.
Yep, and now that Tyrant Kensa only needs one more game to win this set, we are now heading into another new map, which is Splat Zones on Brinewater Springs. I think we're gonna see another explosion, because I think the zone is just small enough to cap the zones in no time. And as I was going through the map in recon mode as soon as it was released, I was kind of surprised that there were less to no inkable walls in the map, which is kind of irritating, but fun to play.
You would see that as one of those devastating frontliners that likes to make those sneaky plays, Keo. I think it is a really interesting map design, isn't it? It does deviate slightly from what we have seen of the Splatoon 3 map design so far, but as you say, the zone is very, very capable. I will wonder if we'll see a bit more back and forth and, you know, penalties on this map. And also, because it's so new, I don't think teams will have had much time to do, you know, refined strategies and practice that. So this might feel a little bit more chaotic compared to these other map modes where people are a bit more familiar, people have had time to test things that work and, you know, adjust their play style as they go. So this is a new one for all of us. It'll be really interesting to see how the teams approach this.
As we are moving on, oh my god, I was very scared about that one. Splat Zones on Brinewater Springs. That has shaken me off a little bit.
It was very loud, and you did correctly call the explosions on either side. Looks to be a very strong weapon for this, and we're seeing some pretty balanced choices across the board, fairly even team compositions. It'll be interesting to see how this goes.
I called an explosion, but I did not call an explosion from both sides. Going into that, T-Tech also will have a great time playing the specials out there, because the zone, like I said, is small enough to cap it in no time. However, Inked Pheonix already struggling hard to go to defend against this aggressive going from Tyrant Kensa, as they are now capping the zone and going as well, and that is utmost important. Whoa, the hero shot, my beloved, cancels out the Splash Ton 2.0, also known as the Reef Slider. That was a huge aim and a huge shot there from the hero shot, That was
Very good
lovely to see.
teamwork. Very, very good teamwork. They could see that there was the jump there. I think the reef slider had gone to try and catch the jump and the person defending, and they were able to defend that reef slider aggressive play and shut them down. So many picks on Tyrant Kensa's part have meant that they haven't had a penalty, and the timer is just ticking down here as Inked Pheonix go down 1 by 1. It looks like they did try and stop the zone, but they're not going to be able to get a cap, and Tyrant Kensa are going to close this out with a devastating offensive showing.
And with a quick win as well, closing down Splat zones like in game number 2, which however went in the favor of Inked Pheonix. Tyrant Kensa winning 5-1, making the first match point stick instantly and winning the first set in Division 9 of the league under the ink.
A massive congratulations to Tyrant Kensa. They adapted really, really well after that second game when it could have thrown them. And yeah, some really brilliant offensive showings and aggressive gameplay there, taking advantage of openings. But I think Inked Pheonix did really, really well. There were quite a few of these games, like Game 1 and Game 4, where things could have gone either way under a different set of circumstances. And, you know, it's early days. This is what LUTI's for, to gain that experience and to keep growing and improving as you go against similar comparative skill level teams. So I wouldn't be disheartened if I was Inked Pheonix. This is really good experience, and just reflect about what was challenging this time and, you know, come back and give it another shot next week. But yeah, a really strong start to the season there in Division 9, and showing that, you know, Splatoon 3, there's never a dull match.
Although Game 3 could have been for Inked Pheonix as well, since Tyrant Kensa didn't push many points there in Clam Blitz on Scorch Gorge. However, the defense of Tyrant Kensa, to be fairly honest, I've been commentating now for almost, don't let me lie, for almost 3 years, but I have never seen such a defensive artwork like this before. That was a very, very great experience to watch this, defending it down to the last pint, and even though they got cracked down into the last second, they still managed to defend the weak lead. So kudos to Tyrant Kensa, GG's to both teams. It has been very fun to commentate and to watch this Division 9 set, and especially to you, Chili. That was very fun to commentate with you, mate.
Yeah, definitely, Kyo. Pleasure commentating with you as well. I think, you know, really exciting showing. Really great to get your analysis and to, you know, just share the joy that is Splatoon 3 together and seeing what's going on. And, you know, I agree, actually. I think, you know, LUTI's a great opportunity to showcase your skills as a team, and Tyrant Kensa showing that they, you know, can keep calm in really high pressure situations. So I think, you know, massive respect to both teams for their showings. Pleasure to be here. Thank you, Dapple Productions, for having us and always putting on a brilliant show. And for now, this has been Chili signing off.
But before we do that, signing off, I think it's time for some shameless self-plugs. Where can the dear Inklings and Octolings of this great community find you, Chili?
Thank you. I'm so bad at the plug bits, Keo. Thank you very much for being a good com partner, reminding me. You can find me on Twitter as ChiliBoy, CHIIIBOI_Splat. It's a new Twitter dedicated to Splatoon and commentary. So yeah, you can find me there. And where can they find you, Keo?
Yeah, my Twitter is Inkling on Fire, like the Inkling on Fire. And yeah, I'm streaming also on Twitch. If you come find me, feel free to join me on my journey in Splatoon 3. If you want to see some high quality gameplay from the competitive Splatoon, you can always follow Dapple Productions for more great content. And this is definitely not the last time that we're streaming LUTI. There are also other tournaments like the paddling pool, which is also starting this Wednesday, and of course the Triton Cup. So, I think that is going to be it for today. But we'll definitely see the LUTI sets here in another day. So with that being said, Inkling on Fire and Chili are over and out. I hope you had a great Monday. I hope we have made your your standard Monday a bit better. And thank you so much for watching, for joining us today. And we see you.
Take care, everybody.
In the Splatlands. And as always, stay fresh, stay off the hook, and catch you later.
Very well remembered. Bye, everybody.